would have thought that Elijah White and parents could come up with a quote like this? You can't bloom in the same place that made you look. This philosophy didn't come from books. It came from experiences that broke me, drained me, and forced me to finally choose myself. And when I look back, I now understand why I wrote those words, because I felt what it is to build in silence. I once had a friend who made me feel like my world should revolve around her. She became upset when I talked to other people, and she made me feel guilty for wanting space. At first, I thought, baka ako'y mali. So I changed myself. I stopped reaching out to others. I avoided forming new friendships. I always tried to keep her happy, even if it meant losing myself. And slowly, I felt myself shrinking. I wasn't growing. I was fading. Parang araw-araw, unti-unti ako naubos. That was the first time I truly understand what it meant to will. Then it happened again in a past relationship. My ex-boyfriend was controlling. He often criticized the people I cared about, and he made me feel like choosing my friends was a betrayal. Because of that, I missed out on opportunities, avoided people I loved, and eventually lost that person I used to be. I live in fear of disappointing him. I live in fear of being myself. And that was when I realized I was no longer surviving a relationship. I was surviving myself. And leaving both relationships was painful, sobra. But I learned something important. Sometimes the things you hold onto the tightest are the very things you're holding you back. And that's where my philosophy was born. You can't bloom in the same place that made you live. This belief connects deeply to freedom. Freedom is not just about doing what you want. It's about choosing what helps you grow. When I walked away from the environments that hurt me, I wasn't choosing loneliness. I was choosing peace. I finally said, tama na, I deserve better. That moment was freedom. Not the loud, rebellious kind, but the quiet and life-changing kind. My philosophy also connects to intersubjectivity, the way we relate to other people. Martin Buber said that real relationships are ideal, where people see each other as a human beings with feelings and dignity. But the relationships I went through were I was treated like something to manage, something to control, something to keep in the box. And when you're treated that way, it becomes impossible to grow. My philosophy also applies to society. So many people stay in harmful places because of fear. Fear of judgment, fear of being alone, and fear of starting over. We see this everywhere. Students stuck in relationships which are toxic, families tolerating unhealthy patterns, individuals staying in situations that dim their light. But when one person chooses to walk away from where they wilted, they inspire others to do the same. Choosing yourself becomes a quiet reminder to others that they also deserve better. This philosophy connects to death too, not physical death but symbolic death. Every time you outgrow a version of yourself, a part of you dies. Every time you let go of someone who hurt you, and endings feel scary, but just like plants that survive the winter, we bloom again after the cold. Minsan may kailangan matapos para may mas magandang magsimula. A part of me died, but when I walked away, a stronger part of me was born. Philosophy belongs to existentialism because it is centered on choice, meaning, and responsibility. I get to decide who I become, and I get to decide when it's time to really walk away from all of those relationships I went through. And this is my truth. I wrote the quote because it came from my own story, a real life experience, a tragic experience that we call, and it is something that a lot of people experience every day, and they are always stuck in this because they don't know how to grow. And this story is a story of losing myself, finding myself, and choosing myself. It came from moments where I whispered, kaya ko pa ba? Kasi bakit nandito pa rin ako? And moments where I finally said, aalis na ako, kaya ko na. Not because I was weak, but because I was finally brave to choose growth. So yes, you cannot bloom in the same place that made you build. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can ever do is to leave the place that hurt you so you can finally learn.